Hey everyone, it's me once again, Mr. Cinema. I forgot to take off the fucking glasses. Hello everybody, it's me once again, Mr. Cinema. Fuck. Who's that? Ah. 1, 2, test. Oh! I don't care anymore. Let's just go. Let's just go. What's going on, everybody? It's me once again, Mr. Cinema Junkie, and I am coming to you with not so much reviews, but I'm going to touch base on some movies that I just watched. Now, some of you who are on my Facebook friends list, I don't like to say following me. You guys aren't following me. I mean, it says there that you're following me, but I don't have a following. Come on. I'm not delusional. Anyways, some of you noticed that I had a picture of a stack of movies. 2 stacks because it would have been too high. It's like 19 movies, 19 titles. And they were all movies that I had not watched and had purchased either months ago, weeks ago, what have you. So I decided, hey, you know what? I'm gonna start chipping away at these movies that I haven't watched. I have got a lot of movies I have not watched. Some I haven't watched in a long time. Some I have never watched. Some are still in the plastic. So as I work through these newer titles, I will be going back to stuff that I bought back when I was still in Chicago. Yeah. Excuse me. So, anyways, there's not going to be much review going on, except for maybe one title in particular. I'm saving that one for last. But I will touch base on these, because like I said, there's 19 titles. You don't want me going in depth on 19 titles, okay? We will be here for a while. So here we go. Let's get this show started. Right off the top of the pile here, we've got La Petite Morte. I didn't check to see what that translates to. Somebody said House of Little Deaths. Somebody threw a couple of different deals out there. Petite Mort sounds like death. Petite, the little death, sounds like it would be closer, not the House of Little Deaths. But hey, whatever. Real quick, it put me in the mind of Hostel in the setup of the torture, and it's set like in a private place where people can go and, you know, well, one person in particular shows up and pays to do horrible things to these girls. There's some tourists who get caught up in a bar talking shit to the wrong person. They get snatched up, thrown in the dungeon. The madam of the house is played by Manouche, and she does an excellent job on that. The FX were done by Olaf Ittenbach, and anyone familiar with his work, it gets bloody, it gets vicious at times, and overall, I liked it. We're gonna do a we're gonna we're gonna give ourselves some room to work here and go on a 1 to 10 scale instead of 1 to 5. And this one I have to give a 7, which isn't bad. Even 6 isn't bad. If I were to go 6, but it's, why would I go 6? Well, I'll tell you why. Because the problem I had with this movie was not so much the movie itself, but the technical aspects of the DVD. The subtitles did not sync up with the movie. So somebody would say something, and I'd have to sit there waiting a few seconds, and then bam, the subtitles would come up, which was fine if one person said something and then moved on with their life. But when a conversation broke out between 2 people, fuck me, I couldn't keep up. It's like, I said, okay, that person said that. Okay, now this person's saying that. It's bad enough having to read subtitles sometimes, but when you have to guess who's saying what, that becomes a pain in the ass. So you know what? I take back my 7. I give it a 6. Fix the technical aspects of this DVD, people. Next up, one that was way overdue. Yeah, I had heard so much about it. I ordered it, and it stayed in the plastic for a long time. Um, I just didn't get around to watching it, and I finally said, you know what? Enough's enough. Fucking watch the damn thing. I know I'm going to butcher the title. I don't speak French very well, but Baisse-moi, Basse-moi, which translates to rape me. This is like, oh, what would I call this? Um, well, I can't really call it like rape revenge because a girl gets raped. This girl here gets raped with her friend, and her friend's freaking out, and she's just kind of like, whatever the fuck ever, man. I don't feel anything for that guy, so my vagina is just some area that needed to be filled, and he did what he did, and fuck him. And so I can't really say because they didn't go after the guy that raped him, but they did go on kind of a her and this girl here, who is a prostitute. They did go on a little rampage deal. They started going out and just doing things their own way, taking life by the balls and basically just living it up the way they wanted to. A lot of violence, plenty of people getting shot and killed. There's a scene where they put a gun up a dude's ass and pull the trigger. Yeah. I'd call it Thelma and Louise on some really good coke. uh, this one definitely gets a 9 out of 10 for me. 9 out of 10. For sure. Um, I'm not going to go into the whole, like, oh, the plot and the character development and understand that, blah, 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 whatever the fuck. I like the movie. I highly recommend it. 9 out of 10. Next up, Among the Living. Uh, from the people who did the movie Inside. So I had some high expectations for this one. And I have to tell you, for the most part, it lived up to it. Um, Basic story about a deformed kid, but not deformed in the way you might think. I don't want to give anything away, but he's got some deformities, not like you think. It's not like a hulking, big, crazy faced looking thing. In fact, he's very plain looking to a degree of creepiness. You have to see the movie to know what I'm talking about. But three kids happen upon his dwellings and disrupt their serenity, and the father of this being tells him to go out because they're going to bring people there. Go out, take care of them, and he does. He dispatches them. Um, so, I mean, that's not the whole of the story, of course. I wouldn't give away the whole of the story. But yeah, I definitely dug this one. 8.5 out of 10. Let's go, just say 8, just to keep it even. I don't want to do 0.5s and stuff. 8 out of 10, definite. Um, I liked it. I really liked it. Glad I watched it. Glad I got it. Next up, Infidus. From the people at Necrostorm, I believe. Is that what they're called? Yeah. It's distributed by Widowmaker, but Necrostorm. Uh, they do. I've said in the past that CGI should be used to enhance practical effects. Uh, let's say you put the prosthetic on someone's neck and you cut it and there's blood. Add a little CGI if you must to make a bigger arterial spray or what have you. But sometimes you got to be careful with that because digital blood looks like digital blood. Okay, if you've seen the Zatoichi movies, the more recent ones, the guy cuts them with a sword, and these little digital blood droplets go flying everywhere, and you can tell that they're digital. So I'm kind of on the fence with the whole CGI and digital effects thing, but I gotta tell you, Necrostorm makes that shit work. Okay, axes to the face, uh, just really balls out type of shit. This movie is based on revenge and snuff films and child murder, and just all sorts of nastiness. And I loved it. I thought the fucking movie was great. So I give this one a 9 out of 10. Um, can't say much more than that. You gotta check it out. You really gotta check it out. If you've seen like Tater City, some of those effects that they use, where it's like it's real gruesome effects, and you can tell that they put some digital work into it. Uh, you can tell that in here, but it's like it's totally acceptable. It's totally cool. Doesn't come off looking too cheesy. I liked it. I really liked it. Can't wait to see more stuff from them. Charlie's Farm. Good old fashioned meat and potatoes kind of slasher, but it brings a little bit more to the table. As far as gore and the kills were pretty over the top. You got a guy getting his dick chopped off. You get people being ripped in half. It's creative. It's creative. It takes place in Australia, or yeah, the story takes place in Australia. You got Tara Reid in here. You got Kane Hodder. Um, it's and Kane Hodder doesn't play the killer this time. He's actually like a friend of the group who comes by to try to pull their fat from the fire. And well, again, gotta watch it to know what's going on. Um, who else? Who else? Who else? Um, I'm having such a brain lapse right now. I I'm sorry, guys. I'm completely like Bill Mosley. Why could I not say his name? See the effects of getting old and drinking too much diet soda? Bad combination. But yeah, Bill Mosley's in here, and he plays. He has a really great part as the killer's father. They have like a backstory. They show back to like what happened before he grew up, and he has that whole insanity edge kind of thing going on that I love so much, like Otis from House of a Thousand Corpses, that kind of thing. But yeah, totally dug it. 7 out of 10, solid 7 out of 10. Loved it. Blackwater Vampire. Do you guys remember when the Blair Witch Project came out? I remember people had a lot of complaints about that movie for different reasons. One of those reasons was you never see a witch. You know, it's like, and all I could think was like, yeah, dude, it's called imagination. And then I would say that, and people would say, I can use my imagination for free. I don't have to pay $10 for a fucking movie ticket to use my imagination, you asshole. Easy, easy. I thought that's what made the movie a winner. Blackwater Vampire kind of reminded me of Blair Witch because there's a documentary team going out to into the woods, the snowy woods, to find out information on murders that had taken place, thinking that the wrong man had been sent to jail for those murders. Girls were found stripped of their clothing and drained of blood, and there was talk of vampires. This is probably what people wanted Blair Witch Project to be like. In that, in this one, you see the vampires, you see the antagonists, and I thought they were pretty cool looking vampires. I got to tell you, I thought they were pretty neat. The way they shot the whole thing was neat. I know there's a lot of you out there that are tired of found footage, documentary style, shaky cam movies, and I understand it seems to be the go-to deal, right up there with remakes, reimaginings, and fucked up sequels that have nothing to do with anything. Um, Reboots, okay? Documentary style, found footage movies is not everyone's cup of tea. When it first came out, people were kind of like, all right, cool. And after a while, it's like, is that all they're going to shoot movies as now? So, yeah, you get a lot of that in here. But I got to tell you, I'm I'm into it. I like it. So I had no problem with this whatsoever. I wish it would have ended sooner. And by that I mean the story went on to a certain point that was way too obvious. Okay, like I didn't need to be dragged that far down into the story to know what was going to happen. So I wish it would have just cut off at a certain point, because I would have known what would have happened. It would have been a little more stark. Some people would have probably been left guessing a little bit, which is okay. It's fine. Um, so yeah, all in all, look, see, like you can see here, one of the vampires hanging from the tree. And I got to tell you, and it's a little more than just vampires, though. That's the thing. There's an element to this that's just a little bit more than vampires running around the woods, um, that I also dug very much. So yeah, Blackwater Vampire, solid 7 out of 10. If you get a chance, check it out. Man, I'm at 15 minutes already, and I still got a lot to go. I gotta hurry this up a little bit more. Crazy Lips, insane Asian goodness. This movie had a little bit of everything. It had murder. It had cults. It had wizardry. It had, I guess, witchcraft. It had necrophilia. It had rape. It was just a whole buffet of madness, and I dug it. 7 out of 10. The Corpse of Anna Fritz. This was a nice surprise, I have to tell you. It came off kind of. It took me one direction, and then quickly took me into another. When I saw the preview for it, I said, okay, there's some guys in a morgue with the body of a celebrity. One of them decides he's going to give her the old heave ho, because how many times do you have a chance to slip the stick to a movie star? Sorry for all the burping. I was drinking soda just before this, and it's really coming back on me. Sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, that in and of itself was kind of like, okay, we got the necrophilia aspect there. During the preview, so I'm not giving anything away, it's in the trailer, her eyes open. Now, I thought it was going to turn into one of these artistic type movies where she reflects on her life, like, how did I get here? And, oh, I had such a good life, and now I'm here on a slab, and this guy's giving me the dick, and it wasn't anything like that. I was completely wrong. Um, Good suspense. Um, there was some blood, some gore, but the storyline was solid. It was a solid story, I gotta say. To me, anyway, I thought it was pretty damn solid. So I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a balls out 10 out of 10. That's how much I liked it. It is in Spanish, and it does have subtitles if you're leery of subtitles. Just to throw that out there. This was one I had heard of for a long time. And just finally decided to get it on Blue. Angst. Loosely based, I believe, on a true story. Has a murderer who, of course, had childhood issues, and his mother was a cunt, and he decides he's going to take it out on everybody, and he wants to make people pay for things that happen to him. So he tries to kill like a taxi driver, and he's very unsuccessful. And then he finally corners a family in the house. One guy's in a wheelchair, which I thought was kind of a horseshit move on his part. But what are you gonna do? He's a serial killer. He doesn't give a shit. There's two people in wheelchairs, right? No, one. But anyways, the murder scenes were pretty intense. He dispatches them with a little je ne sais quoi, and and there's a touch of necrophilia thrown in there too for flavor. Um, I dug it. I liked it. Great movie. It was done by the director. Yeah, same director that did like Necromantic. So yeah, it makes sense that there's some necrophilia thrown in there. I might be, some of my chime in and say, no, that wasn't the same director. So if it isn't, I apologize. Uh, I'm just going by something that I had seen where there was a group of movies together. Thought they were all from the same director. I think this was one of them, along with their Tortoise King. So, anyways, yeah, I give this one 8 out of 10. I dug it. What can I say? I liked it. I liked it a lot. Horror. First time I tried watching this movie and I started to watch it and I didn't continue with it. It went by the original title, Hora, Hora, which means horror. I don't remember where this is from. I don't know if it's Norwegian or what. I'm sorry, but all in all, if you've seen I Spit on Your Grave, it's in that vein. Rape revenge. Um, I just think this one stands on its own merits. I think it stands on its own creativity. Uh, it it's the same but different. Okay, it's like having two slices of bread. One's wheat, one's rye. They're both different. They're both bread, though. You know what I mean? It's and it has this neat little bonus inside the horror, which is supposed to be like a sequel. The director's doing his like sequel to the movie, but it's like the filming process, and it gets really insane. But this one, I have to say, the only complaint I really had was like they didn't really think through some of the things they did in here. You see that shotgun that she's using? Usually a shotgun, and I'm see here I go getting into the technical shit. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that because I don't want to. Like I said many times before, I'm not the one making the movie. I'm nobody to say, "Hey man, you're doing it wrong." But there are little things that kind of take away from something, and unless she was using slugs, and they were 410 slugs, if anybody knows anything about their shotguns, the shots were kind of wrong. Okay, it's a sawed-off shotgun. It's going to scatter. She's shooting from about 50 miles away, and a nice, like a neat little hole just pops in the guy's chest. That wouldn't happen. The buckshot would scatter everywhere, and you probably get hit here, here, and here. Like, ow, what the fuck? But but all of it, all that be damned. Um, it was pretty brutal, um, pretty raw, and I dug it. And I will give this one a 7 out of 10. A brutal game. This movie has kind of like a artsy feel to it. This girl is in a wheelchair. She's angry at the world. She's pissed off at everyone. She kind of manifests that anger by torturing and killing animals. Her father is a serial killer, and she finds out about this pretty early on. It's like some of his, I guess, lunacy kind of embedded itself in her DNA. I guess I don't know. Um, but she starts to straighten out when she falls in love with her tutor's brother. Um, but overall, I just thought it was a very well made film. I dug the storyline quite a bit. Um, like I said, it had like an artsy feel to it, and I'll give it a 8 out of 10. Um, yeah, there was something I wanted to say about this, and right off the bat, I'm not really remembering what I was going to say. Basically, the storyline is the guy is going after some kids who trashed his laboratory. He's a doctor. Her father is a doctor, scientist, and some kids trashed his laboratory, and he's going after the kids. And these are like young kids. They're not like 18, 19. I'm talking like 12 and 13. He goes after each one of them and he lays them out. It's pretty harsh. And the way she finds out about it was very well. It was well done. I liked it. So yeah, 8 out of 10. Little Deaths. Good Lord. Uh, I thought it was a very cool anthology. There are 3 stories in here, I believe. Right? 3 stories, yeah. The first one, if I had to judge each of them just by the story alone, each story by itself, I'd give the first story like a 7 out of 10. I'd give the second story a 7 out of 10. And I'd give the third story uh, 9 out of 10. So average all that together. I'm probably doing the math all wrong, but I give Little Deaths 8 out of 10. Um, Anthologies are hit and miss. Okay, anthologies are like you get one good story out of it, and the rest could suck ass. Half of them could suck. But this one, all 3 of them had something to offer. All 3 of them were pretty live. But that last story, for me, was like the best story. So get yourself the unrated copy of Little Deaths and check it out if you haven't already. 8 out of 10. The Thrill of a Kill. Oh, you know the story. Boy is abused by mother, grows up angry at women, catches them, tortures them, rapes them, kills them. You know that story. It's been done. But this was just so wickedly enjoyable. Uh, I mean, there were parts. I'm not going to say it's not without its flaws. There were just, I mean, little like personal flaws for me. Um, to name one, there's a girl who's off in the woods, and every time she's running away from a situation, every time she's trying to escape, she feels the need to put this hat on that has these long sleeve-like deals, and at the end are little pockets like mittens. She runs wearing this hat with her hands in in the mittens, running, trying to run away from everything. And I'm like, take your hands with the fucking mittens, tie the stupid thing around your waist. It's gonna slow you down. You're not gonna be able to use your hands if you need to. Little things like that, just dumb shit that really shouldn't matter. It has one of the more entertaining sex scenes that I've seen. It actually had me kind of laughing a little bit. Just the guy's whole mannerism. He actually says "yeehaw" when he's doing it, and it's pretty funny to me. Um, but overall, gore effects, um, awesome. So this one, I'll go 8 out of 10. That's what I thought of it. Casadaga. I didn't know what I was getting into when I saw this. This is a vengeful ghost movie. Uh, a girl whose sister is killed um, tries to communicate with her spirit through a medium, and winds up becoming attached to a vengeful ghost who's trying to show her clues to her killer's identity. And I thought overall it was really good. Didn't rely too much on the jump scares, although there were a couple in there. Um, what was really wicked was this body, and what he does to the girls is pretty crazy. And the beginning kind of put me in the mind of the movie Pieces, and it's funny in itself. If you see the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, um, the killer, when he's a boy, he likes to dress up in girls' clothes and play with girls' toys, and the mother comes in and freaks out and gives him a hard time, and it births his his disdain for people, I believe. But what he does to the girls reflects on what happened when he was a kid. So I actually liked it. Vengeful ghost movies are a dime a dozen. You see them everywhere. You see them all the time, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're just dumb as shit. This one I actually liked quite a bit, so I'm going to go with a 7 out of 10 for that one. Mosquito de Chandler, or Bloodlust, as it's known in other circles. Um, when I read what this movie was about, this guy goes to the local. He's a mute. Yeah, he's a mute. Abused by his father, and there's some pretty raw scenes of molestation in there. No like sex or penetration, but there's like a scene where the dad is drunk and he grabs the daughter who looks all of like 10 or 12. I don't know if they used a double. I hope they used a double for the scene that came up after that. But he grabs her and puts her on him and picks up her skirt and starts pulling her panties down and rubbing his hand all over her ass. And I was kind of like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Please tell me that's an adult. And they're doubling for the girl. It has to be. It's got to be. But anyways, this guy grows up uh, into dolls. He makes a lot of dolls, and makes these dolls all over his damn apartment. And he gets into this kick where he starts going to the funeral homes and the cemeteries and mausoleums, and he breaks in and he drinks the blood of the corpses. Now I can see why this movie probably drew some evil eyes and a few boos from the gallery back in its day. Now it's pretty tame in comparison to some of the movies that are out now. Drinking blood is like a distant third to say cannibalism. Um, but the way he does it, the way he carries himself, the things he does, he even designs like a glass straw that he, like two little prongs, and he sucks the blood out. Um, I thought it was cool. I thought, I thought the offering overall was pretty damn cool. Um, I'll give it a fair 7 out of 10 because I dug it. I dug the storyline. I dug the. It was kind of crazy at times. It was a little insane, but I liked it. Was not sorry I got that. And I'm missing one. Son of a bitch. I am missing one. I'll get it. Don't worry. Here we go. We're going to eat you. Horror, kung fu, comedy. Those are the 3 words I'm going to use to describe this movie. There's some fighting. There's some cannibalism. It's a village of people who are half insane, and they eat people that come to the island. And the big rift amongst everyone is that they're not getting their fair share of the meat that comes in. Um, a detective comes there to arrest a fugitive named Rolex. Um, it's just got so many crazy aspects. The thief that's in it that he meets, I thought was a nice addition to the cast. Uh, and for what it is, I thought some of the gore effects were not bad, really. Chopping up bodies and stuff. I mean, you don't have like entrails flying everywhere and just over the top, mutilations, but they do, chop up bodies, they cut them open, and there's a lot of blood flowing. And I think for what it is, and for its time, it's not bad. It's not bad. It was definitely entertaining. I haven't been this entertained by a movie of this nature since Kung Fu Zombie. So 7 out of 10 for that bad boy right there. And here we have Der Todesking, which I believe is by the same director who did Angst and Necromantic and so on and so forth. I had been hearing about this title for ages. and finally decided I was gonna add to my collection of over the top movies. And this didn't disappoint. It's like different phases of different people dying, like different people meeting their end in different ways, mostly by gun, but it's like different stories of different people's lives, and it's like death visiting each one of them. there's really no, to me there was no like order or rhyme or reason. It was just random stories of how different people met their end. Some people got killed, some people committed suicide, but throughout the whole thing, there's a body decomposing. They cut to it every time, like the more people die, the more it decomposes. I thought that was pretty well done, and yeah, I give that one an 8 out of 10. I really dug it, liked it a lot. And now I'm at the second to last movie. Before I get to that last title, let me present to you the only movie that I'm going to give what I feel is a very fair low score, and that is this one, which I had heard about for years. Again, I'd heard about it for years, and had always been curious about it. It sounded pretty wild and pretty crazy, and the descriptions on it were always like, "Oh, it's just over the top and crazy and stuff." And it is this one, Lucker the Necrophagus. Guy looks like the guy from Judas Priest. Anyways, let me tell you something about this movie. Is there necrophilia in it? Yes, there is. He has the thing about killing women and then having sex with them. So yes. The guy is in a mental institution which he escapes from, and then he goes out and starts his mayhem again. Now here's the thing. The necrophile aspect of the whole thing is, in my opinion, pretty weak. Okay. And I can't say, I cannot say that it's because he kills them and then he has sex with them right then and there, and then it's he should wait a while, or dig them up or something like that. It's not that, because in the movie Angst, the guy kills the girl and then he winds up having sex with her, and it was a very well done scene, I thought. Um, it was just weak. It was just weak. There's one scene in here, one, that I can say really went above and beyond. He kills a girl in her apartment, a prostitute, kills her, stabs her, whatever, chokes her out. I forgot how he killed her, but then he decides to turn up the heat in her apartment. She turns on the heater, the stove, everything, makes it nice and hot in the apartment, and then it fades out, and then it says, like, I think it said like 4 days later, 5 days later, a week later, I don't remember. Um, he pulls back the covers, and her corpse is rotted and gooey, and it's covered in fucking maggots, and he's touching her body, and he keeps pulling his hand up with all this shit dripping off of it, and he's licking it off his hands, and that was pretty disgusting. And then he gets on her and he starts, giving her the old 1-2, and that was probably the one scene that I had hoped the whole movie had been like, something over the top like that, something that really brought something to the necrophile game. Um, but I gotta say, and that's not the only part about this that I didn't like. First of all, I thought the audio on it was shit. Whatever they used to mix that audio to get the vocals on there, whatever, it sounded way off, very tinny. Like they didn't mix it right. At least that's what I think happened. I don't know. Maybe it's the only audio that they had to work with, and it was better than nothing. Who knows? Like I said, I don't really want to get into the technical aspects of it, but it is what it is, man. It sounded like shit. The visual on this, the actual imagery, uh, that in some points was like faded. And if they're coming off of like a film print that they uncovered somewhere and that's like the best they had, that's okay, fine. Um, but couple that with the fact that the story was so weak, uh, yeah, I can't in good consciousness even recommend this movie. I would recommend that scene, you know, um, but overall, no. Uh, just because I appreciate the effort. Thanks for trying, so on and so forth. Um, yeah, I give it like a 2 out of 10. Yeah, 2. And that brings me to the last one. Last one on the list. I picked this up at Texas Frightmare Weekend along with the movie Horror. Um, and it is the third in a series. But I was assured that I didn't have to see the first two to get the third one, like to understand what was going on. And I want to say they were right because at no time did I watch this. There was like one reference where the guy said, "Hey, don't I know you from somewhere?" And I knew that was kind of like a joke to either one of the previous films or another film in from this particular company. Um, but it is Grime Wave, and it is the third in the Cockface Killer trilogy. Now, people have asked me, what is it like? What is this movie like? What would how is it? And I say to them, it has all the cheesy goodness of a really good trauma film and all the sexiness of a really good sleazebox movie, amped up a little, amped up. Um, my only real complaint about this movie is it was like seriously censored. And I found out later that it was censored for a reason because it was streamed to some streaming service. I don't know if it was Amazon or Netflix. It might have been Amazon. But they had to put these black bars over certain scenes. There's a pissing scene, they had to edit that out, or they had to cover it. There's some actual like sex penetration that they had to cover, blowjobs that they had to cover up. Um, and it's like, okay, I understand. And but I found out after that that they censored it, gave it to them, and then it was censored even more. So I'm like, wow, But I don't rely on things like that to really enjoy a movie. It's not like if you cut all that out. It's not like the USA movies where they would take like some titty flick and cut out the only reason you would watch the movie, the tits. They take them out, and then it's like, well, the movie's no damn good, and then you took the tits out. So what good is the movie? Why are you even showing this piece of shit? It's not like that with this. This movie could carry very well without that, but it's really an added bonus. It's like the barbecue sauce on a fine rack of ribs. This movie was just so much damn fun, man. It was so much. It was so over the top, major ridiculousness, but with a hefty amount of like gore and violence and the things that you love to watch in these movies. Um, some of it was like way over the top. Some of it, when I saw that censor bar come up, it made me think, wow, are they really doing what I think they're doing? Because why would they censor it otherwise? I mean, in the beginning, there's like a big kill scene in a massage parlor, and there's a part where the cockface killer is holding a girl by her ankle, and he has a dick on his chin, and I see him moving his head up and down, and they have that bar in front of it, and I'm like, is he really penetrating her? Nah, they're covering it because they don't want to show the vajayjay, the vagine, They want to keep that covered because, you know, but then later in the movie, there's a girl in a cult who has her legs spread. And I mean, she's got a meaty vagina. Okay? I'm only saying vagina because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings by saying cunt, snatch, pussy, whatever. But she's got some lips on her. And not a bad thing. But they show it just right there for you to see. So I'm like, but then she starts pissing, and then here comes that black bar again. So then I start thinking back, like, holy shit, he was really penetrating her with the dildo, with the dick, the chin dick. He was really penetrating her. He had to have been because they don't give a shit about showing girly parts. They don't care. It's the penetration that they got to watch out for. And there were some lines in there that just had me rolling. Uh, this meth head says, I lost my labia in the second Iraqi incursion. And the guy says, you lost your what? And she goes, my down there lips. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And then it culminates, I want to say climaxes, but that would be better, right? Climaxes into a sex competition, and there's not only does the blood fly, but so does the semen, and it's crazy. It's just overall craziness. The director, Jason Mathern, he uh, he did a great job in directing this, and I can't imagine personally, Jason Mathern, hats off to you, sir, because I can't imagine coming into a set every day with this kind of insanity. Um, I guess I got to give it up to every director who's ever directed a crazy over the top movie. Any like the sleazebox titles, the trauma titles, I applaud you because to keep a wrap on that kind of madness and present it the way you do, that's art, man. What can I say? I don't know much about art, but I know what I like, and let me tell you, I liked this right here. I really did. Honest to God, I want the first two. I got to get the first two to this because even if they're all both standalone deals, I want to see some more of this craziness, some more of this madness, and I am praying to the cinema gods that they release an completely uncensored version of this movie. Seriously, the day they do, I'll buy it, and when I do, one of you lucky sons of bitches is gonna own this one. Don't know who, but one of you will. This one gets a solid 9 out of 10 from me. 9 out of 10. Well, that was all of them. It wasn't 19 titles, it was 20. 20, I believe. Go back and count it. Yeah, watch the video again. I need views. But there you have it, guys. I'm sorry this took so long. I meant to just say, da 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 da, liked it. Da 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 da, didn't like it. That's what I was hoping to do, but I can't do that. That's not doing the film any justice at all. And it's not really giving you an insight as to why I liked it and why I didn't like it. Not that my opinion matters that much, just saying. So that's it, guys. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for sticking around. Uh, hope there's some titles there that you haven't seen that you would like to. And if you've seen any of these titles, please give me your input. Because that's what it's all about, right, guys? Comparing notes. We don't always have to agree. So till next time, guys, you take care, and I will see you soon. Another one of these videos is going to be coming hopefully sooner than this one did, because I've got a new stack ready to go. I just got to tear into that son of a bitch and just start hitting them. Boom, 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 boom. Judging by how many I have there, it might take me till Friday if I watch them consistently. It is right now, it's Sunday, so maybe by the end of the week I'll have it done, and maybe by next Sunday I'll have another video. We shall see. But like I said, till then, you guys take care. Thanks for watching. Always appreciate it, and I'll see you later.